Now, next up, we're going to be talking about social selling, and it's going to be really, really practical. To introduce this or to run us through it, we have Tim Hughes. Now, Tim Hughes is CEO and he's the founder of DLA Ignite. He's also the co-author of a book that I would really recommend if you're into social selling, and it's called Social Selling: Techniques to Influence Buyers and Change Makers. And he also wrote a book called Smarketing: How to Achieve Competitive Advantage Through a Blend of Sales and Marketing. What's great is that he's basically universally recognized as the world-leading pioneer and exponent of social selling. And he's currently ranked #1 by Analytica as the most influential social selling person in the world. And we continuously gravitate towards him for what's up in the social selling space: tools, tactics, approaches, et cetera, et cetera. Now, Tim joined us to give a short presentation on social selling. So let's kick off with that presentation on social selling right now.
Really excited about today's webinar. So we have Tim Hughes with us, who is the co-founder and CEO of DLA Ignite. He's also the co-author of the best-selling book, Social Selling: Techniques to Influence Buyers and Change Makers. So Tim, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for inviting me along today. Really looking forward to it, really exciting and sharing. I don't have a lot of time, but I'm going to try and whiz through and hopefully you're going to take away a whole bunch of things that you can actually implement back in the office or back at home if you're working from home. So this is me. I'm the CEO of DLA Ignite. Our website is dlaignite.com. I'm also the author of the book Social Selling: Techniques to Influence Buyers and Change Makers, which is available on all good websites like Amazon worldwide. And please feel free to check me out on LinkedIn or on Twitter. Please send me a connection request. I really appreciate if you send me a connection request, if you actually personalize it and say that you actually heard me on the Growth Tribe presentation and you'd like to connect. So some of the things that we're going to do today, we're going to talk about 5 pillars of social selling, the importance of your LinkedIn profile, the reason why it's your why and not your what, the importance of a network and the difference between networks and contacts, why you should not be invisible to your prospects and clients. You may be at the moment, and I'm going to show you why you shouldn't be. And I'm also going to show you how you can get C-level meetings. It's actually any meetings, but I'm actually going to show you how you can get high-level meetings or meetings with people using social. So let's dive into this and let's set the scene. First and foremost, this is a quote from one of our clients, Catherine Cole at Telstra Purple. And she says that a social organization sees social, as in social media, as a platform for closing the distance between clients, prospects, remote employees, and potential recruits. The problem that we have in marketing and sales right now is actually that we push people away. What I'm going to show you today is how you can actually use social, not as to push people away, but actually to bring people closer. We get a lot of people coming to us, and actually I talk to people all the time that actually have no pipeline at all. They've got employees to pay, they've got rent to pay, and what they've been doing is spending money on advertising and email and cold calling, and it's just not working for them. They just haven't got any money or any pipeline at all. And everybody needs new logos. We need to be selling more, and there's less people out there right now spending money. So when we win, or when we get an opportunity, we get a lead, we need to make sure that we win it. We're also finding people that are becoming way too late into the buying process. So they're either having to spend their time responding to requests for proposals, RFPs, that have been written by other people. And what we need to do is engage earlier in the buying process. And I think a lot of people actually understand now that doing nothing or doing what we were doing a year ago isn't good enough. The world has moved on, our competitors have moved on, and we've actually got to do something differently. So here are some research that came out recently. This came out in November, so it's very much up to date. And what people are saying is that this research is based on what B2B buyers don't like. So they don't like the marketing tactics of B2B marketers and sellers. So currently, the way that people buy, and you're probably all like this, is you start your journey online. In fact, Gartner is saying that people are now 60% of the way through the buying process by the time they actually contact a salesperson. I actually have research from SAP that says it's 80%. It doesn't really matter whether it's 30%, 60% or 80%. The fact of the matter is our buyers are online and they're searching for your products and services, and you don't know about it unless you're online, you're on social, and you're doing something about it. The other problem that we have is that, especially in business to business, we have buyer teams. So in the past, there would be like one person would make a decision, and if one person was making a decision, the likelihood of that decision that be made would be 81%. The problem with buyer teams is the more people that you get involved in the decision-making process, and when you're buying IT products, it can be way over 10 people. The likelihood of that actually taking place gets less and less. The other thing is that as a salesperson and marketer, we need to actually have contacted all of those people within the organization. If they're going to go into a room and say, okay, we're going to make a decision, who is it going to be? You need to have spoken to all those people. You need to have relationships with those people, and you need to have conversations with those people. And advertising, email marketing, and cold calling do not work in that situation, and they do not scale. So let's look at this research. But the fact of the matter is now there are 7.83 billion people in the world, of which 4.2 billion people are on social media. 53.6% of the world's population are now on social media. To give you some idea of the figures that came out last night, that's a growth of 490 million people. So 500 million people joined social media in the last 12 months. And that's year-on-year growth of 13%. And we're in a situation where people used to say, my clients aren't on social media. That isn't the case anymore. They are on social media. They're somewhere. You just haven't looked hard enough. So that's the position of where we are. It gives you some idea of the position in terms of sales and marketing, where we are in terms of social, and the way that social has completely taken over the world. So let's step back a second. Imagine, okay, so you got to go to the airport. So this would be pre-COVID, and you're late. What you got to do is you've got the choice of two cars. Which car do you choose? Do you choose car number one, or do you choose car number two? With the amount of time that we've got, I'm not going to let you put answers in the Q&A. Most people, I think, would actually choose car one. Car one is a prototype. It doesn't have an engine. And the thing is, as us humans, is that we all jump to conclusions. We take a small bit of information and we extrapolate that out. And what we do is we make a decision based on something. And what people are doing right now is that they're making decisions about you and your company based on your passive social presence. So something that you may have up on your LinkedIn profile, for example, and your active social behaviors. So what you're posting, if you're engaging with people. So the importance of your social media profile, number one. So a lot of people still think that LinkedIn is about having a CV, or it's about finding your next job, or putting absolutely no information at all about yourself, which is what we have here. Now we see social media is pervasive. It's omnipresent. It's everywhere. Whereas if we take Catherine Cole's at Telstra Purple. She has a LinkedIn profile that tells a story of the whole of her career, not her objectives or whatever, but a story all the way through. What it does is it actually brings you closer. I know people that have read that and go, do you know, I'd really like to meet Catherine. Now, Catherine, if you meet her, will try and sell you some security software. But this is different, and this is transformation from what you normally get, where people talk about their products and their services and the company, and we're not interested. Surprisingly enough, customers don't like that. Customers, we don't like being sold to. Salespeople are the enemy. And here we are as an ability for you to transform your organization to actually be interesting to people, empathetic to people, and people wanting to buy from you. What Catherine has here is a keyword optimized piece of content. Google sees LinkedIn, basically a LinkedIn profile, as a continual string of text. So she has keywords all the way dotted around through her profile, so that when people are Googling, she becomes the answer to the problem. So just think, if you could get every single employee doing this in your business, you would get a keyword optimized piece of text for every single employee within your business. Just think how powerful that could be. So it's not your what, it's your why, not your what. The big mistake that people always make on social media is they talk about what they do. And I'm not interested in what you do. I'm not interested in your company. I'm not interested in your products. I know that you were super, super excited about it, but that's because it pays your mortgage, pays your car loan, and puts food on the table. I have my own problems to worry about, which is why I'm not interested in your company or products. So this is Adrian. Adrian's the CEO of Telstra Purple. This is his LinkedIn profile. Nice banner at the top, nice photo. If you saw him, if you could meet him in a room and you saw him across the room, you could go up and introduce yourself. But he has this title at the top here. That's his summary title. So if you Google yourself, what you'll find is that Google will come up with your name, your photo, and that summary title. That summary title is the most visible thing about you on the internet. Your job, if someone Googles you, is for them to go, Tim Hughes, he looks really interesting. I need to look at that further. And then come to my LinkedIn profile and then read my profile. I've had people come to me, they've actually read the whole of my profile. Now, if you've got a title which is boring, they'll probably go to your competition. And we all know that we make decisions like this. If we're not instantly gratified in terms of the information that we're getting online, we will move somewhere else. Now, you may not like this title and you may not like what Adrian has written here. That's great. And the reason for that is that you won't like Adrian. So Adrian is actually qualifying you out before you even get to him. So we have this problem right now in sales, which is salespeople run around trying to get people to like them. And whereas once you get to my age, you know that actually not everybody in life will like you. And so you know not to spend time with those people. So Adrian is using social effectively and efficiently to qualify out the people that are not going to buy from him. Obviously, they may look, the buyer may look at Catherine and like Catherine. And, you know, in sales, we work as a team. If they don't like Adrian, they may like Catherine. But you've still got your bases covered. So what you'll find is most people have a LinkedIn profile which says sales director or marketing director or project director. So I can see 8,552,815 sales directors, and I can see in my network 9,724,042 marketing directors. Now, there is this psychological condition called Gestalt thinking. What we do as humans is that we clump things that are similar together. So if we see sales director, we see all of the sales directors clumped together. Whereas if we present ourselves differently, what the mind does is it actually sees two different groups. So what you've done is that you've moved your win rate by being different online from 1 in 16 to 1 in 2. That is very powerful. So Adrian's profile started at his first job. I think he was packing shelves in a supermarket. Mine was washing up in a pub. And again, it's a story of his life, not his objectives. You know, you can go and have a look at that. And what you do is that you're pulling people in and pulling people to closer to you. So the way that marketing generally works, well, the way that marketing works currently is it's based on waste. What we do is that we create content that we make very general, that we hope will appeal to as many people as we can. And we throw it out there again, hoping that someone will like it. We then harvest their emails, and then we keep sending them email updates every month or every week or something. Whereas what we're proposing is you actually set up your sales team, in fact, the whole of your staff, if you want, as micro-influencers. So what they do is that they have great profiles and they build networks. And I'm going to talk about that. And what happens is that they start sharing their insight, their education, the educational material, and they start educating and providing interesting content to their network. And I'm going to talk about this in a moment. And what will happen is that their network, people who know, like, and trust them. And who do we generally buy from? We generally buy from people we know, like, and trust. So what they're doing is that they're building this network of people who know, like, and trust them. So when these people actually get the particular problem that you solve, they'll go, do you know, Tim Hughes is the answer to my problem. And it's because of the fact that I've been educating you and I've been supporting you. You will see that as, you know, there is only one place to go. It's inevitable that I need to go to Tim. But what you're doing is that you're getting your network and your network's network to share your influence out through the internet and through social. I'm sitting here today because of social media, what you're doing is that you're sharing that out through people. So the importance of having a network. Now, when I mean a network, I mean people that every time that you connect to somebody on, say, something like LinkedIn, Twitter, or Clubhouse, or whatever, you have an opportunity to have a conversation. Now, what you'll find is if you try and sell or pitch, most people will probably either tell you to go away, and I'm being polite, block you. You know, this isn't, social media is not a platform to actually sell. The hint is in the name. It's social media. Your job is to have a conversation. You have a conversation with somebody, they get to know you, they get to like you, they get to trust you. And that's how you build a network, not just a whole bunch of contacts. So let me explain to you a little bit more in more detail. This is my one of my team. This is Eric. This is Eric's LinkedIn profile. Eric's going to start a lot on this. This is Eric Doyle. So this is Eric's LinkedIn profile. If we take NCR on the left-hand side, Eric has no contacts in NCR. The likelihood of him actually selling to NCR is pretty infinitesimally small, unless there's someone from NCR watching. Whereas Wood Group, he's connected to 450 people in Wood Group. He's actually connected to the whole of the board in the UK and the US, the CEO in the UK and the US, and all of these people as well. And we actually ran this as an experiment. So how long did it take him to get those 455 connections? Actually took him 3 days, which isn't a lot of time. You know, if this is one of your accounts and this is one of the accounts that you want to sell to, then building connections with people and having conversations with people is obviously an objective that you want to achieve. Some people call it account-based marketing or account-based selling. I call it common sense, but this is the way that we work in the digital world. So the other thing is that the way that LinkedIn works, if you go through the timeline will show content from people that you know. It also shows you content from people you don't know because it's trying to get you to connect. All of these articles have been seen on my timeline, not from people I'm connected to, but people that are on my second connection. And you can be using this yourself by sharing insights, by sharing content that people are enjoying, that you're sharing it not just through your network, but your network's network. And this is how you get your influence out there. So how not to be invisible to your clients. And we're going to talk about content. And we're also going to be talking about how you can get meetings or C-level meetings as well. So we've done this piece of research. So this is based on data. It's on our own research with our clients. And what we found out was that, unsurprisingly, if you talk about your products and services, no one's particularly interested. And so we start at the bottom with the number of likes and the amount of engagement. And as you go up, you will get more engagement. So if you provide humanized content and you author your own content, you will get more engagement. And that's important. And I'm going to explain why. And again, this is not based on my opinion. It's not because it says so in my book. This is based on actual data. So if we take Eric, who's my muse today, Eric has shared this. This is from Pipe Tech. Eric works in the oil and gas industry, or sells into the oil and gas industry. And this is an article about pipes, which I don't know about you, but I'm not particularly interested. I know that the 2 likes on there, one is from the marketing person that wrote it, and the other like is from the sales director at Pipe Tech. As you can see, it's not having very many views and is not getting a lot of engagement. Whereas this one, this is something that Eric has actually authored himself. This has now had 9,463 views, 37 likes and 61 comments. Why is that interesting? The average person on LinkedIn has 930 contacts. So if you think about in the old days when we had email databases, if you think of this as an email database, think of 37 times 930. That gives you some idea, the idea of the reach that the person Eric has got from that particular piece of content. And here's another piece of content, something that you will have seen a lot. This has got 18,000 views, 165 likes, so 165 times 930 gives you some idea of the reach. And you've seen a lot of this, and you can empathize with it. This is taken back earlier in the year. This is Eric's son, Austin. Austin's 16. He can't have his birthday out with his mates. He has to go out with his boring dad, and they go to the beach near Aberdeen where they live. And they, Eric put this up. Now, the thing is that Eric knows that content isn't tactical. What you'll see, there's a lot of people that are putting content up there, and then you ask them, so what do you get from it? And they said, well, I just posted something. What am I supposed to do with it? At my previous company, we'd get some like a VP or something, and they would put something up there, and an email would go around saying, you must like this person's post. And you go, so what did you get from it? I don't know. I just posted something up there. Well, so this is what Eric posted. So what did he get from it? Well, he got 124 leads. He got 6 C-level meetings, and he had 20,000 people look at his LinkedIn profile. So these are 20,000 people that are looking at his great profile and going, oh, I might not be buying from Eric right now, but I know that he's the person that I will buy from in the future. All of this just took him 10 minutes. So he got 6 C-level meetings purely by actually spending 10 minutes of his time. There's not one demand generation method that you can use. Advertising, cold calling, email marketing will not get you this level of response for this small amount of time. And so what I'm saying to you is you don't need to do humanized content all the time. You will get the most leads by doing it. When you look, someone comes to your profile, they need to see your profile and they need to see content about what you stand for. Because if we're going to buy, if we're going to buy from you, and we buy from people we know, like, and trust, then we need to see what you stand for. Are you a human being? or are you a corporate robot? And we need to see that you have a personality, but also what we need to do is see what you stand from a business perspective. Now, what I've told you there is I've given you a whole bunch of knowledge that you can go and implement yourself. But the thing is with social media, it's not what you know, it's what you do. You can go on a lot of social media training courses and you can talk to a lot of people and they can give you a lot of knowledge. There's a lot of people that will come and give you hints and tips and all kinds of stuff. And usually when we say to somebody, so hints and tips, so what happened afterwards? And they say, well, nothing. And the reason for that is this isn't about knowledge transfer. This is about a change in habit with you in terms of your mindset and your daily habits to make sure that you're doing the things that you need to do in the digital world to sell and market. So things that I've been going through today, the importance of your LinkedIn profile. You need to be different. It's your why, not your what. This is not about what you do, it's why you do it. The importance of a network. Please, please, please don't fall for these things where people will say, I'll get you a whole bunch of contacts for a certain amount of money. It is a waste of money. Please don't be invisible to your prospects. If you're not posting and you're not putting out content, you are invisible to your clients. And your client may come to your LinkedIn, may look at your LinkedIn profile on a Tuesday, but if you're only putting out content on a Wednesday, you've been invisible. I've also gone through with you about how you can have conversations with people and get meetings. It doesn't matter what level, but in this case, we're getting some C-level meetings. So that's what I wanted to go through with you today. It's a whistle-stop tour in terms of the session. You can get my book on Amazon. You can connect to me on LinkedIn. Thank you all for attending today. Please connect with me. Please send me a little connection request saying I saw you on the Growth Tribe webinar. And hopefully I'll see you sometime on social. Thank you everybody for attending.
Thank you so much for joining us, Tim.
Thank you. Bye.